Hi, everybody.
Hey, welcome. How are you
Welcome
doing?
to TFF, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon
And
and
Banshee.
Banshee. Hi.
We're here. It's Sunday.
And I forgot to turn on our light.
Oh no.
So I'm going to
Well, there
get
could
up.
be worse things. Last time we forgot to turn on the mic. And I believe I said you'd think Mercury was retrograde or something already.
Is the mic in fact on? Yes,
The
it
mic,
is.
in fact, is on, dear. No worries there. No worries there. Oh, Esoteric's Tarot joined us and Mystic Moonchild. Welcome. Hello. Good to see you both here.
Are you blinded?
I am not blinded.
Okay.
That was also a problem last time. We've been having a few technical glitches of late, so you won't see our exit video tonight if you stay that long. But all will be well again shortly. And we also had a troll visit the last time when we live streamed. It was at the end of our stream. So hopefully not too many people were disturbed by that. And that is why we've invited our producer back, our former producer, Monster Hunter Malik.
Who also happens to be our son.
Yes, and he is going to do a little bit backup moderating for
There he
us
is.
today. Or he seems pretty forward right now.
This is our passive aggressive way of telling him that we're always going to need him and that we're actually pretty grateful when he can help us out because some of this is still a little bit bewildering at times.
Well, and we do have some old equipment that we're working with, which is part of the problem. We had to free up a ton of space yesterday so that we could make things work properly today.
And for some reason, we wanted to do this during the shadow of the Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, I know. Well,
It all
are
seemed
we
to
going
work
to do
out.
possibly another video on Mercury retrograde for everybody?
Why, I think we probably could do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get the ball rolling a little bit with, of course, one of my first things, my rune leaves that I created. It's a little divinatory thing I bring out every fall, and I think it's my turn to pick a leaf.
Hi, Mystic Moonchild. And yeah, it does seem that way, but just wait. After all, I am a Scorpio.
Ah.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, want to show that up to the camera?
Surely.
Okay, I've inscribed rune stones on these leaves that you could get at any craft store, like Michael's or wherever a national chain is.
So what does the rune for today mean?
Well, it is, I'm pretty sure it is the rune of movement. And so I'm going to look at the interpretations that I put together for this. It is, okay, I take it is Iwaz, which is movement. Its element is fire. I'm very happy about that. But it signifies abrupt changes, safe travel, starting new projects and relationships. And when it is upright, as I pulled it, it indicates transitions and movements and new home, possibly a change of attitude or a way of life, a journey, help or advice, upward more mobility or progress. And I like that. And just
Hi, Smiling Soul.
hey, Smiling
Good to
Soul
see
is
you
back.
again.
Welcome. Glad you could make it as well.
And yeah, I love Cancers, I love Pisces, and I love Aries.
And I
Mystic
love
Moonchild.
Scorpios. Besides him, my father was a Scorpio as
And
well.
we all love
Uh-oh, the cat.
the cat.
So the cat is back. And you know what? I have to tell you guys, when we were setting up for the stream, we set up early today because we wanted to make sure, things were going to go okay. And as soon as I rolled out the cloth that we read our cards on, here comes Sonny. He jumps up and he's ready for action. He's ready for his moment in the light.
Oh, look, Sonny. Monster Hunter says hi to you.
Yeah.
Aw, we are doing great, Smiling Soul. Thanks for asking. It's been a little bit hectic recently. We're just trying to get all of our Halloween and tarot projects in order. Just as a slight reminder to folks, we're doing Halloween haiku every day over on our Facebook page and our Twitter page. And we are hoping to put together...
Oh, are you going to give it away? A special presentation.
Shall we?
Okay, let's
You
do
heard
it.
it here first.
Let's do it. You know, like Masterpiece Theater or something like that, people seriously sitting around a table. Well, we're going to sit around a table and do a dramatic reading of our Halloween haiku.
Yeah, we're going to do every one of our Halloween haiku as a dramatic reading. It'll be like Between the Ferns or Masterpiece Theater. Between Two Kitties. I don't know.
I don't
We'll have to see
know.
if we can coax the other cat up
We
here.
might do it up in our library. We might pick a different venue for this.
So that'll be somewhere on the morning of Halloween.
We have Halloween off. We always take Halloween off and the day after. We have a tradition of visiting our family's graves on November 1st. And so that gives us a long weekend this time.
Did we have another scoop about our program on Halloween night?
Yes, we do.
And what would
We're
that be?
thinking of adding an extra hour, but because I'm a little, hi Mimi, because I'm a little bit
Hi, Mimi.
silly, because I'm just a little bit silly, and watch these haunting shows on TV, you know, all the ghost hunter shows, and there's specials, of course, on Halloween night. We might start just a little bit earlier than normal, but we plan on going for 3 hours on Halloween night.
Yeah, we're giving it an extra hour on Halloween night just because we think we should. Halloween night traditionally is a night of fortune telling.
Yes.
And there are many folk tales, folk legends from Europe, from Africa, from many places about, you know, that one night of the year where maybe the spirits fly a little bit and it's a little easier to part the veil and
Hey.
see what's going on there.
LS has joined us too. Wow, the gang is all here. Awesome. And you know, I've been meeting some great people on Twitter and our Facebook pages and stuff. And so a shout out to Esoteric's Tarot, who I've been looking at their, you know, her videos and her tarot presentations, as well as some of her other videos, like one that was about water, the magic of water. And I really, you know, I'm enjoying talking to everybody. Open Soul is another person that I've been speaking to. And of course, today I went to a podcast by the Tarot Lady,
Thank you.
who's done a really great book on the tarot called Tarot for Troubled Times. And she's done a new astrology book. And I've really grateful for all the wonderful people that we are interacting with on Twitter. Hopefully we can learn from each other and engage each other.
Okay, in no particular order, the reincarnation topic has been separated and is its own small, about 17 minutes clip. So that's at our YouTube channel. You can see that there, LS.
Yes.
We can try that, Mystic Moon Child and Smiling Soul. I think we use the cards for things like that. So we'll give that a run, I think, when it's about your turn. So did you want to go through the order now? Because we got a little bit to get going here.
And you know what I would also say to you, Mystic Moon, is maybe I can spend some time on Halloween night with a reading such as that. I have some spreads that I have created, and I believe I may have some that explores, you know, the spirituality topic of, you know, your gifts and your potential intuitive abilities. So I will try to look that up and pull something together for Halloween night, if not sooner.
We really appreciate all you guys coming here. Thank you so much.
We need to make another announcement, though, or talk. Recently, we did post a Brexit video. The thing is, we have so many of you coming to the chat now for readings, which I think is fantastic. We couldn't get to some things that we wanted to do, and one of the things that I wanted to do on the last live stream was to do a question about Brexit again, what's going on in Britain, the separation between them and the European Union, because I knew that there was an important vote coming. So we did a down and dirty video on Friday night before the vote about whether Brexit was going to pass Parliament or not. And I don't know if I'm happy or not to report that we were right in saying it was not going to go through.
Alrighty.
Did you have a comment on that?
Not really. I think people could check that out and maybe
Yes.
they'll find something very interesting there. We do know that all of our Brexit videos have been getting a lot of hits on YouTube. So we think that's really great. In addition to everything else we're doing on Halloween night, I'm also presenting a special meditation on tarot cards for Halloween night, and that's probably going to be around 11 o'clock in the evening. I want to do it before midnight, so we'll announce that when it is slated for sure.
It's going to be released. It's a video presentation, so
Right.
it's not live. It's not going to be part of our live program, just something extra that he has done for the Halloween season.
So we should get started, and I think
yes,
we
we
have
should.
Mimi first.
Well, we had Mimi first. So, Mimi, do you have a question for us at all?
And we'll give Mimi a moment for that.
Well, they did come up with a deal, but they did not pass it. So if they've got another deal, they're going to vote on this week, Smiling Soul. It remains to be seen what will happen with that. We will see. I just knew it was not going to get passed, and that's what the cards were indicating to me. And it didn't go through. So hopefully, they're on the track for it, though. Oh, that's great that you're doing that, Mystic Moon. We've got the day off to celebrate Halloween, and I'm sure we'll be doing special things. But on November 1st, we'll be doing some, special visits to our relatives and leaving, offerings for them.
So we're waiting for Mimi to check in with us again.
We'll give her just another minute.
We'll give them a couple more moments, and we may come back to them later if they don't catch up with us. And we'll just move on to the next one. In general, while I'm waiting, I think I'll also remind people that in general, if you didn't catch us here today, we also have our live streams on Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. And as we mentioned, Halloween is also a Thursday night. So we'll probably be broadcasting 6 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. And of course, we're on Sundays 2 to 4, unless, of course, my previous engagement takes place, which is working. In
right.
which case, then it'll probably be in the evening from 7 to 9 p.m. again. So I think we're going to move on to the next person in line.
Which would be if Esoterics Tarot would like a reading, or just if you're watching, whichever you prefer, just let us know and we'll move on to the next person, or we'll handle a question for you. I was going to say something else about Halloween. Oh, I think the Sunday before and Halloween, I will be bringing out my reincarnation cards again, and maybe we can have a little fun with those.
Yes, and between now and Halloween, we're also trying to spotlight or use a couple of our more seasonal type decks. So, for example, I have recently used my Vampire Tarot, and this is the back of one of those cards.
I thought it was just a little dark, but it is Vampire Tarot.
Yeah, it's a little dark. That's the Magician. And then I also used recently the Gothic Tarot, which just about is dark.
Okay.
Today I'm going to use a different one that maybe is continuing a dark theme. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
Esoterics, we'll see what we can do for you.
We have a plan of action.
I'm going to hand you the cards, and I'm going to look for a 3-card. One of my generals. Put my rune thing aside. Oh, and I also brought out my I've Been Here Before past life spread. We might work with that one too and see how that goes, or I might do a video presentation on that one. So, we're going to do a general one for you to see what's going on for you this month, Esoteric Tarot, and next month, and what the next 3, the next 3 months look like for you, basically the focus.
And deftly moving between the Tarot Kitty, or whatever Sun Man is, Sunny.
Oh. Okay, so the first card, this is a very positive card you've got here on top for right now. Seems like emotionally things are at a high for you, or should be soon, because that's very positive. The beginning of emotional contentment for sure, What do you have to say, Mr. O?
It could actually mean that there's the beginning of some new kind of pleasurable relationship. It doesn't have to be a love relationship. It could just be an intense, friendly, platonic relationship. Maybe it's a relationship with something that's a little more abstract, like you fall in love with your new plans to redo your living room, or something like that. Something more
that brings
artistic
joy
or something.
too. Mm-hmm.
So I think this just says something really pleasurable is coming to you and will begin unfolding very soon, or has this month.
Okay, so actually this week, oh no, it is this month, and then next month. Sorry, losing myself. Wow, talk about the vibes here. You just got the world card for next month. Talk about things looking up. And it seems like sometimes Oberon and I are the masters at pulling reversals, but so far, no. And if you're
Maybe
wondering about the deck we're using, everybody, we're using, some of people who have been tuning in know that's Ciro Marchetti's Tarot Grand Lux, his latest deck. And I just think it's awesome. I love to
it's a
use it.
beautiful deck, and I know several other readers online who are using it right now too. To me, for the next month, the world is sort of indicating that it's literally your oyster. To coin that phrase, it just seems like there's probably nothing you won't be able to accomplish, or at the very least, you're going to feel like just there's an order that's happened, a sense of perfection that you feel about you. It could very well be because of how the planets are working. There's so many weird astrological things that are going on for most of this year and towards the end of the year and beyond, even Jupiter, Saturn, things like that, Neptune. So these may all be things that are indicating some sort of order coming.
I feel that, this could also indicate that, you've reached some pinnacle, some level of success. And I always like to think the world is, of course, it's not really the end. It's maybe the start of something new again. So it's basically the cycle's about to begin again for you again to maybe even achieve a higher level. So this is just a really, really positive card all the way around. And so finally, the focus for the next 3 months is going to be, the King of Swords reversed. It's our first reversed card. Not that I'm excited about that.
It
Really.
wouldn't be TFT if we didn't have some reversals going on.
This is true.
Did you want me to take
Yeah.
the helm here?
Yeah. You've
It
got
sounds to me like there is the possibility that if you're confronted with an important decision, this is for the overall 3 months, or how does that read?
Yeah, it's like focus for the 3 months. So yeah, it could culminate in the third month. It could.
Yeah, that maybe there's a chance that you're going to have a decision that's going to be really hard for you to deal with, and you're going to be concerned because maybe you'll feel that you're not really doing justice to the decision. I don't necessarily feel that it's impacting directly on your welfare or being. It may be that you have to make this decision for somebody or something else, but it's still going to trouble you a little bit that maybe you're not really feeling um, invested in it, or like you're really doing the right
Oh,
thing there, but you may not have any choice.
and you know what? I also
You
would.
wanted to do the
I will,
Lenormand.
but I also see that with this, I feel that, like he said, I feel there's something that might be weighing heavily on you, and that you're going to have to, come to terms with something and make the best choice possible, and you're going to have doubts. I think you're going to have doubts about
Just
it.
as a warning, if everything seems to go topsy turvy, it may be because we have a reactive kitty moment. His legs were intertwining with one
Oh
of our
no.
cameras, and he was stretching, and I thought he's gonna bring it down. But the calamity has possibly, the cat calamity has possibly been eliminated for the moment. So we'll see.
Well, my friend has come back again, the rider. Okay, and I'm using a different deck this time. I'm using Ciro Marchetti's again, Lenormand cards, and we'll show these. This might give a little bit of extra information to you, Esoteric Tarot. And we got the rider card, and then we've got the park, the garden.
Park, the garden.
And so both of them together are very interesting to me. It seems like these next 3 months are going to be a social time, maybe where you're going to be doing some networking. But this seems to me, rather than virtually like we're doing here, some of this network might be person to person in some way. And you're going to get some news that's going to be very important to you, because the writer is about news coming in. So maybe it's even a news inviting you to a big social gathering, that will have some importance to you.
I'd say it's very likely that can happen, because the other thing too is I'm picking up the strong vibe of the holiday season that's coming towards us, and we're within that 3-month period of that. And I'm getting the feeling that you're going to have some invitations to some really wonderful events, and so you may actually be traveling. That's what I'm getting from the rider card. And then with the park, it's like maybe just going to some place that you've literally wanted to go, someplace that brings you the sense of peace and serenity. So I don't know why. I don't know if you travel overseas, but I'm getting a little vibe that maybe it could be something like that. So you'll have to let me know if that works out. I
Yes.
don't really know the Lenormand deck, but I can relate to them as symbols, so I try to throw that out there.
That's what we do.
And I notice we're having more people showing up.
Yes,
Mystic
we are.
Dreamer has showed up, so hello to you.
Oh yeah, Mystic Dreamer's here. I'm so sorry I missed you. I'm putting you down on the list. We've got a list going today. Welcome. Well, I hope that helped, Esoteric Tarot, and feel free to stay tuned. And, you never know. We may have time to do something later or just enjoy the conversation.
Thank you.
We're going to move on. Oh, I love LS, the cat lamity.
I said that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I think Ellis heard me say that.
That's
You
awesome.
know me and puns, right?
Yeah, we're both bad at that, as you can tell. Those of you who are reading our Halloween haiku, for sure. Okay, so next on my list, I think I had Mystic Moonchild. If you're still with us, would you like a reading?
Mystic Moonchild had mentioned something too.
Oh, I think she did. Let me go back. Or he. Yeah, we got to
Strange things.
watch our
Okay, so-
pronoun use because we are, of course, virtual and not sure of who we are speaking to.
Mystic Moon, did you want to put that up as a more actual question? It looked like it was a comment about just some intense things going on right now. And yeah, in general, if anyone does have a preferred pronoun, they may want to tell that
Yes.
to these old farts who don't always get that nuance.
I should know this more because I work in an education environment and we're trying to be very mindful of that.
Esoteric Tarot, it was our pleasure to read for you. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you very much.
And I would like to also say, I was going to say something. Lost train of thought. The old
I'm sorry,
lady's
yeah, I
lost her
threw you
train
off
of thought.
my
With
frequent
Mystic Moon.
interruptions.
Would you then like just or Mystic Child?
Mystic Moonchild.
Mrs. Moonchild. Would you like just a general reading then to see
down,
what
Banshee.
will pop up? Maybe it might touch upon these strange occurrences.
Thank you. Thank you, Ellis. That's good to know.
Yeah, the damn Mercury retrograde. We did a video when
So
we
Mystic
first.
Moonchild says sure for a general reading.
Okay, all right.
And you were saying something about our retrograde.
Yeah, we did a Mercury retrograde video for the one in July to August. It was actually before we even started our live streaming.
Right. We just wanted to get a little bit of content on our YouTube channel.
And it was pretty fun. I also should I share it again to get everybody ready? Maybe I'll post it on Twitter and Facebook as well. But I created something I like to call the Mercury retrograde wrap. And it kind of goes like this. Okay. And you could either do
You're on your own, Banshee.
you could either, I hope I remember all the words. You could either do it with we or I, So I'm just going to do it as we this time.
It's supposed to be a charm against the worst influences.
Right. It's supposed to empower you against this retrograde, okay? So here we go. If I get the words right. We are one. We have the power to pool our strength in this hour. Face these days without dread. Negative thoughts are left unsaid. It is now plain to see. We must work with these energies. So we are not at all afraid of this Mercury retrograde.
Okay, honest to goodness.
I'm still afraid, though.
We are
I'm
still
very
trying
afraid.
to focus on a general reading.
Yes, we are. I'm
For
sorry.
Mystic Moonchild.
Well,
And what general reading will this be?
Okay, I think that let's see what's going on right now, present. Next 3 months, within from now to the next 3 months, and then the 6 months from now. Let's do that. Let's
Okay,
just
I
give
did
a
the
broad
cut.
view of where things are headed. Okay. Go this way. And the first card right
Thank you,
now.
Ellis.
Okay, the first card right now is the Eight of Swords reversed. And so it's kind of indicating to me that there is some movement, maybe some movement from some things that might have been restricting you in some way or holding you back. And when I say that, that also means sometimes things that are self-imposed, restrictions, things that, maybe inside of you that have been holding you back. And so you're breaking free, but, maybe a little bit uncertainly and wobbly and not sure which way to go
Did you say this was right now or the month ahead?
right now.
Okay, and I see that too. I sort of feel for Mystic Moonchild that there could be this opportunity to suddenly realize that a way has opened for you and that you still have a sense of caution about what direction you want to go in, but it's feeling like now you do feel like one, you have the ability to move where you may have been impeded, but two, you're wanting to take baby steps because you're still not really sure exactly where
Of
you're
your
going.
footing, yeah, definitely. So that's what it looks like right now. Within the next 3 months, beautiful
Oh,
card.
is that
I
beautiful?
love this card. It's one of my favorites in his deck. It's the Two of Wands upright. Just look at the colors, so beautiful. And doesn't it just look like a door is opening for you in some way? And the light is shining down.
Didn't I just say that?
Yeah, I know. So that's why I say it's a good follow up. And that is actually, from now to the next 3 months. So it looks to me like there's going to be new opportunities afoot for you for growth and positive adventuring.
The Two of Wands sort of brings a sense of a completion of sorts. It sort of feels like, yeah, you've done the hard work, you made that choice, you started walking towards that choice, and now you are starting to reap those benefits. And this was for the next 3 months?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
And of course, the holiday season, or at least for us here in this continent, is approaching. So sometimes a lot of things do complete, a lot of things do feel like rewards are coming in, end of year rewards, that kind of thing. So I do feel that that is exactly what Banshee and I are seeing there for you. And I noticed that we just had Angel Destiny show up in the last few minutes.
Thank
So
you.
hello to you.
We've got a list going, Angel Destiny. So if you hang tight, we will get to you.
And I agree with you, Ellis, that sometimes most of the sword cards are a little bit better when they're reversed.
And we got one upright. And the final card, though, is a cautionary tale here.
Speak of the devil, eh, Ellis? The Three of Swords.
And it's upright. And so it does seem like with all this pomp and ceremony, all this good, this good movement, there is going to be some setback or something that's going to bring you some sorrow or sadness. And maybe it's something that you have to leave behind, to move forward. Maybe that's going to have an impact on you, in the long term.
I think you're picking up my thoughts too, because I was looking at the last card, the last two cards, looking at this, and I'm feeling like the door that opens may mean that another door has to close, and it may mean that you may have to have a separation of sorts with somebody you really love or care for to advance to the new plateau or to the new opportunity.
Or it could be a job even, and you really like the people you worked with, etc., but some better opportunity has come along and you need to say goodbye. And sometimes that's hard. I know it's hard. So even happy occasions, sometimes people retire, and if they've had a great experience on their job, it's hard for them to say goodbye.
And we have another visitor, Earth Angel, has also shown up and is asking a question. So we have several folks ahead of you, Earth Angel, but we will be able to get to you. We're pretty sure about that.
Well, we hope so. It's getting fast and furious today.
So I hope that makes sense for you, Mystic Moon.
I will do quickly.
Yes, we're going to do the Lenormand.
We're going to do a couple of Lenormand cards real quick. Let me shuffle them up. This is kind of more my area of expertise than his, so I like to put my energy in them, but he is always chiming in and really saying some very relevant information in regards to the Lenormand. He is studying through me.
2 tarot readers are better than 1.
Maybe.
Well, you certainly can get some different perspectives.
Yes, you can. And I think that's all good. What's interesting, I again got a repeat card, and I know I mix these cards up. I'm a ruffler, and I do mix the cards up, and I take one from the top and one from the bottom. But here is the garden again. It might just be in the park. It might just be that, you know what? We're dealing with a lot of sociable people here.
That's true too, yeah.
And so that's why it came up. And there is the tree. So I sense here that you might get involved in some kind of group activity that would be really good for your health and well-being in some way. It's going to, I don't know whether it's going to be some physical exercise classes or things of that nature, yoga, whatever the case may be. But it sounds like you're going to do something with a group, and it's going to benefit you in some way. Your vitality, you're going to just feel more alive and with it from doing it.
And both of these cards seem to remind me of the second card that we pulled, the Two of Wands, especially the one with the rainbows going on there. So I sort of feel that it reinforces that message. This, to me, implies some sort of mystical understanding or relationship because it looks like the tree of life within the tree and the rainbows. I love those rainbow cards. Yes, Ellis. And then, of course, the garden is like what we said before.
The park or the garden. It's kind of like social, more person-to-person socializing. So that's why I say it's some kind of event where you get together with people, or maybe a routine monthly, weekly, daily routine that you're in a group of people and you're working together on some project or goal or something, that's really going to make you feel good inside and good physically. So that's what we have for you, Mystic Moonchild. I hope that helped in some way. And if not, feel free to join us again and ask for a question and stay on board and, comment with us today.
We also like it, too, when people come back and say, hey, that did turn out to be right, or I thought about that, and... so we like the feedback.
And even if we're wrong, we want to hear it. We want to hear
That's true, too.
Because especially if we're telling you kind of negative stuff and you say, haha, I had a great time.
Would I be happy? We want better things to happen for everybody.
Absolutely.
You're welcome, Mystic Moonchild. Thank you.
Okay, so next on my list, I think Smiling Soul came in right before LS. And Smiling Soul, you had some health questions perhaps? Or
something about a dream, too.
Oh, okay. What would you like us to explore for you right now, Smiling Soul? And I'll shuffle the cards while waiting.
I'm looking at your comment, and I have to tell you that the Mercury retrograde has not fully kicked in. We're in the 2 weeks before it actually goes retrograde. And so what that means is that sometimes issues that show up are things that maybe will be more important to address during the actual Mercury retrograde. So you mentioned your health. And I'm wondering what's going on, because it could be that within the next few weeks, it may become more of a concern. Can you say something more specific about it?
Okay, got it.
Everybody experienced the shadow, but they may experience it differently, the shadow before Mercury retrograde.
Well, I will say that I've already experiencing some Mercury retrograde stuff. And obviously with our computer, we've certainly
all of our computer problems in the last few days. So we're actually kind of fortunate to be here today, because last night it looked kind of bleakish.
So I'll tell you what, let me see if I have Smiling Soul.
Health reading?
Yeah, let me just see what I've got in that regard. Maybe there's something that can fit.
And remember, of course, that although we can give this reading, we are not licensed to practice medicine or actually give specific medical advice. We can tell you what we feel, but we do feel that always, depending on what your concerns are, the best advice is to try to see a doctor or some health practitioner.
Well, honestly, I don't have a good health issue 3-card spread. So why don't we...
wing it somehow?
Let's throw the cards down. 3 cards. And let's see what kind of story they will tell us for Smiling Soul in regards to
hello, Renosa.
Your health.
We have another possible reader.
Oh? Who is that?
Renosa.
Oh, I guess I see. I had to pull my little arrow up. I'm missing people.
So for you, Smiling Soul, we're going to try to go random. We're going to focus on your health concern. I did get a glimmer of something, but I'm not going to say anything until after we pull some cards. Do you want me to go ahead and cut? Or do
Sure.
you want to cut?
You can cut because I shuffled. Hi, Renosa. We have a list going here, so if you have a question, would like a free reading, stay tuned. We'll try to get to you. I'm writing everybody's names down as they come in.
There's really only several in front of you, so it should probably work because we're going to be here to 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
And we are going to work our hardest to get it through. I am going to throw all 3 cards out and let's take a look at what we have. Okay.
Okay, we have 3 cards. We have a reversed 9 of Swords.
No, that's Wands.
Wands, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
A reversed 9 of Wands. The upright 8 of Wands. Kind of interesting.
Yeah. And
And then we have the reversed Ace of Swords. Do you want to start?
well, I tend to feel that this might show a little bit, of mental fatigue going on right now. That maybe some of your physical health problems may be tied into a little bit of mental fatigue because the Eight of Wands is a very positive card upright, but it does show, you've been burning a lot of energy lately on different things, and maybe you're just plain exhausted. And, you might need to slow it down a little bit. I sense that because the 9 of Wands is reversed, and it seems as though, it's pulling you off your game a little bit, for you to be prepared for the things that you have to take care of and get done.
Okay, the glimmer that I felt as I shuffled the cards possibly related to stomach or gastroenterology issues. But now that I'm seeing these cards, I don't know if it's that so much as the underlying possibility of stress. That stress is sort of a factor in some aspects of your health. I feel like maybe what Banshee said, that you're trying to do too much at this point in time, and that you may find you're going to overload or have a severe sense of fatigue there. Okay, thank you for saying that. But with the 9 of Wands...
Okay, next, stress. Yeah, that's tied together, Smiling Soul.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that. I do on occasion. I thought maybe it was possibly affecting how your stomach or that situation worked. Now with the 9 of Wands, I'm sort of feeling like there's a lot of times where you really tell yourself inwardly, you want to give up, you want to give up. You don't really mean that, but you kind of tell yourself that inside. And so that maybe is creating a little bit of a feedback loop that affects that stress. So you want to try to think a little bit more positively at times when you can. But the final card, the Ace of Swords reverse, does possibly indicate that you may end up seeking, in my opinion, some advice about what's going on there. It could very well be that maybe the next situation is not generated by stress, but that stress affects it.
I want to address something Smiling Soul just said in the chat. Smiling Soul, one time when I had a serious neck issue, it turned out that I had a pinched nerve in my spine, and like you, I was experiencing numbness, but on one side of my body in my hand. And that really scared me a little bit because it was my left side. I actually thought I might be having a heart attack, but it turned out it was a pinched nerve in my neck, and it was causing me a lot of problems. I had to go to physical therapy and get that straightened out. So, that I can see how that can be very disturbing.
I do have the feeling that you may have to talk to somebody. I don't know that you will right away, but maybe somewhere early in the new year, like February, March, you may have to get some advice on this or have it checked out better. So I'm hoping that you will be able to take care of that. But in general, too, I'm thinking, there he goes with the camera.
Oh, no.
You watch it.
No.
In general, I do think that it is a stress situation, and relaxing and positive energy is going to help. So we will try to send you some positive energy, too, on our own.
So interestingly enough, I got yet another card I pulled in a previous reading, and that is the Rider card, and it's with the ring this time. And the way I'm going to interpret this for you, Smiling Soul, is to say that it seems like, if you need to, if you go and you try to get this diagnosed, you're going to get some news that's going to be some valuable information for you. The ring, of course, is something of value, also can indicate a bond with somebody. So in other words, if you have a physician that you normally see or somebody that you can trust, You should probably seek out their advice, and you might learn something valuable to you about what's going on at this present time.
I think you're going to get a clean bill of health when you can get there and find that out, because
Yeah.
I'm relating to these as the symbols, but I know a little bit about the other forms of divination, and I do feel like there's going to be a huge sense of satisfaction and relief once you get the answers. And I do feel that this one to me does sort of, for some reason, indicate a medical prognosis that feels favorable. I'm just going to tell you I feel that, so I'm hoping it is the truth for you.
Yes.
Don't be scared.
No.
I'd say maybe wait till after the holidays if you can, and then just check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we have time later and anybody needs any follow-ups, we'll try to do that. But let's see if we can get through our list. We never know who else will drop in the live stream, so we're going to keep things moving.
So we're going to switch it up with my cards this time too?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Sure, we can use your cards. Thanks again, Smiling Soul, for joining us, and
You're welcome.
hope you stick with us.
Okay.
Hold on, Mr. O.
We like everybody's comments too. When Ellis or various people make comments, that's wonderful to hear that, Smiling Soul.
Hold on, Mr. O. I just want to tell everybody that I am drinking out of my Titanic glass today. So the only thing I can say about that is either this live stream is going to sink or swim.
Is that an iceberg? Ah!
I got this one time. They had a Titanic exhibit at one of our
Banshee will check that out. Thank
local museums.
Now, we are switching decks for the next set of readings, and
Okay,
I am
Smiling
using
Soul.
what is called the Night Sun Tarot. They kind of have a darker time of year feel to them, and just like I was mentioning that I've been showing some of my other pseudo or kind of Halloween decks. I had a Vampire Tarot, I had a Gothic Tarot. This one is not quite that dark, but the images are very picturesque, and that's the Night Sun Tarot. There's the little booklet I got with that.
Is that a U.S. Games or?
It's from the Lo Scarabo,
Okay.
and the art was Pietro Aligo. Very cool stuff. I really like it. So who's our next person?
Oh, we are up to LS now.
Alrighty, LS, do you need a general or do you have a more specific question? We're going to browse the chat here and see if we can find that.
So, I was going to say also that, yes, he's talking about Halloween-themed decks, and I have a number of Halloween oracles as well as I think we both have the Halloween Tarot. So I think starting next Thursday, since it's getting so close now, I'm going to start bringing some of this stuff out as well.
You are welcome, Smiling Soul. And I'm just warming up the cards here for LS.
Yep, LS, if you don't want a reading, let us know that too, either way, and we'll move on. So we'll give you a few minutes to decide that before we move on. I have to tell you guys, I'm hoping to publish a nice little short video I created today. Outside our condo window here, I managed to capture on video 3 squirrels in our tree playing or fighting. Some of them look kind of rough at times with each other, going up and down the tree and around the tree, and it was pretty awesome. I cannot believe the cats missed it. Usually they're always looking out that patio door, but they missed that completely.
And it's unusual for us to see so many squirrels just running amok like that. Usually there's 1 or sometimes 2, and they'll come by and they'll kind of engage our cat in eye games. And I see LS has asked us a question.
Oh, well, I don't really have those cards now, but what I could do,
we could try to do
we
one
could
with
try
our
to
regular
improvise
decks.
and see what we get.
They are not very prevalent in your part of the world, Ellis. They are basically a rodent, but they are kind of a cutish one. I remember as a kid, there was a nice little squirrel that we would actually feed by hand. My mom hated that because she was sure I was going to get rabies.
Well, I'm sure you guys will get a notification when we put that video out there on YouTube. So look for it. I don't know if I'll get it out today or not, but really soon. Oh my gosh, it's just so funny. And it was quite the show, but we had somewhere...
Oh, Smiling Soul.
We had some... Oh no. They're like rats. Well, I like them. I do like I call them squirrely squirrels because they're always teasing our cats.
Well, they claim that a rodent like ancestor is common, if you believe in evolution, which we do, to both cats and dogs, that there was some prior critter that just evolved off, and one strain of them became dogs, and one strain became cats, and who really knows, right?
All right, I have a longer reading for past life, but maybe we can take some kernels of it and use it. I created a spread for past life readings that
Let's see what
I'm
we
going
can
to
do here.
share on Halloween. I think it's either going to be that one, or I also have a Halloween tarot spread as well. So it's a toss up exactly what I'm going to do here. All right, do I? Oh, I need to
Yeah,
shuffle.
go ahead, shuffle, please.
Indeed. All right, let's see what we can
So
come
are
up
we
with.
doing your
for
idea,
you.
or should I try to wing it somehow?
Do you want to wing it somehow?
I think
Do you
I
want
can
to
try
look
to
at
wing
some
it.
of the things I have here to see if any of those might help you with your approach?
It would mostly be just trying to make it a few less cards, just like 3 or
Right.
4 instead.
And those have like some of the characteristics that you might find, be interested in a past life. So I don't know if you need to pull from that, but this could be very general LS due to time and whatnot, but we'll see what we come up with. It's very interesting. And I haven't done it as much with the tarot because I have these other past life decks. So I'm curious to see what we will glean from this.
Now I'm going to try to wing this from an intuition point of view, and I'm going to suggest that this first card represents the possible most recent or second most recent life, and see if I can decipher that. And it's a 6 of Swords, but reversed. And I'm thinking there's a past life where you lived near water, but you weren't always able to travel that water, that maybe there was some reason why you were just on the banks. And I'm thinking maybe you were somebody that worked in a city where ships came and unloaded things, and you took those in. Maybe you were part of a mercantile affair of some sort.
I like what you're saying here, but I get the feeling that they never got on the boat, right? With it
Or,
reversed
yeah, they didn't get on the boat, but they worked in that area there.
around water.
Right. And I'm actually feeling that I don't tend to believe that people come back at amazing rates of speed.
Hello, Jaya. We're
We're
getting
doing a small reading for LS right now
Yes.
that they asked about.
LS asked us for a past life reading, and we're taking a shot at it. A brief reading about that. We have a list here of people who are waiting for readings, Jaya. So I will add you to the list, but we have about 3 or 4 people in front of you.
Okay, so I'm also getting the feeling too that this was not super recent. This may have been back towards Renaissance or the first couple hundred years after that. And I was just going to say that my personal feeling about some past lives is that there may be many years, 100 years in between one life and the next. To me, some of that relates to how old the soul is, that the older the soul is, the less frequently it comes back in our common era, because it has resolved most of the lessons of life and karma that it's chosen to learn. So I'm thinking somewhere in that Renaissanceian era, you may have worked on a riverfront where people were doing trading and ships were coming in, and you were helping unload that. So I get the feeling, I'm not picking up gender. I think you could have been
Well,
female
let's pull
or
another
male.
card.
Yes.
See if anything indicates.
And it's the 4 of Pentacles.
Oh, it's Pentacles? Okay,
Yes.
awesome. And it's reversed?
And it's reversed. And this does relate to the first card to me. I'm thinking this says that in that lifetime, you had to release a lot of money or prosperity. You lost money or you released it somehow.
I feel that
That is interesting.
I feel that you dealt with with this commerce in some way, but it wasn't very rewarding financially for you.
Maybe that's what I'm getting.
And
Yeah.
it's possible you had to take on this job because, you know, you didn't have much choice. You were booted out of the job you were at, something like that. You had
I
no choice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking you were connected to maybe some sort of merchant, but you were one of their workers, and
Apprentice, even.
yeah, apprentice or a worker of some sort. And at some point, you had severe money problems, is what I'm thinking, in that employment.
And let's see if one more card, what we get.
The Knight of Wands.
I'm getting a very male energy off of these cards, and even the nature and the type of work they're talking about here probably is indicative, especially with the time period that he's suggesting, that you were a man in this lifetime, and that, what is that again? It's the Knight of,
Wands.
yeah, and that's movement, messengers.
Well, I also get the feeling too, like maybe this was a person who helped deliver you from the situation, or that
Oh.
it was an aspect of
I
yourself
think it's an
that
aspect.
helped deliver yourself. And I'm thinking too that maybe at some point, that was still a time where there wasn't really a lot of literacy and education. It was very early in the era of the printing press. Although if you lived in Asian countries or Arabic countries, they had different languages and they were probably more astute with them for the common people, because my understanding really is that Europeans had recovered from the Dark Age, but a lot of other cultures didn't necessarily experience the Dark Age similarly.
She made an interesting comment there about the name
Yeah, I saw
associated
those.
with River.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, I do think there is a connection here, and yeah, I don't know how you feel about the male energy, but that's
Well,
kind
maybe
of what I
what
see.
happened was in your release from that employment or that situation, I'm thinking you did go on to become more educated and possibly to show others, a way, because you're carrying a light there, and the card itself to me means a person of trust. So I'm thinking that somehow you are delivered from that employment and you move on to something that's more befitting of your education, or that you traveled even, to become more educated.
Well, I don't even know if anybody has ever used the Lenormand cards for past life type thing, but let me just see if anything makes sense from what I pull here. Let's see. Oh, well, I
Okay.
don't know. I'm not sure this is the, how should I say this? I'm not sure this is a standard interpretation for these two cards together, but I'm going to give you what my gut feeling is about it. One is the cross card, which is a very kind of somber card, and the other one is the lilies. And the lilies often means a mature person, like longevity is involved. It can also mean sexuality as well. There's a number of things about the lilies, but my gut feeling when I saw those two cards together indicates to me that you had a rather good lifespan. You lived a pretty good long life for
Well,
that era.
here's what I think happened, and I'm just going to go with the symbols here. And I'm glad you mentioned the sexuality aspect, because you'll see
Okay.
where I'm going with
All
this.
right.
But I'm thinking that what happened was when you left that merchant thing of unloading ships or whatever it was, and you decided to go forth and get education, I get the feeling that you probably, if you were in European countries or maybe even in other countries, you joined some sort of seminary, because it was probably one of the better opportunities to become
Oh.
educated in those first couple years of the Renaissance, at least for a European kind of person. And then the whole thing is that if you're in a seminary, well, then there's a kind of a spectrum of sexuality that either is none or is too much, or I'm sorry, I'm being nasty there, but uh,
Let me.
it could just represent the idea too that seminaries are certain forms
Oh my
of
God.
religious education, an act of our chastity too.
Oh.
So I'm thinking you might have become a priest or a hermit or a monk, and you had a vow of chastity of some sort.
I'm not going to dispute that, but I'm still going to hold to my theory that I do believe also in this lifespan you did have a pretty good long life. You didn't die suddenly or tragically,
Yeah, I
by
agree with that.
drowning
I agree
or
with that,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that you became a very educated person in a life that was really different from where you started, being more of a common laborer, in a riverfront town of some sort. That you journeyed forth and you possibly became an educated person, most likely through a church or a situation like that.
Well, thank you for that question, LS, because, we like to challenge ourselves, and I think that was a nice, challenging question for us today.
I
So I
love
appreciate it.
LS' last comment.
Oh, let me see. That's insane. Always the desire for cynicism. Awesome. Yeah, so I
Thank
hope you
you.
enjoyed that. And we will be playing
A
more
little bit
with
of
my
entertaining.
previous deck of past life cards that I showed in the previous live stream, probably starting next Sunday. Okay, so now we had on the list, let's see who is next. That would be Mystic Dreamer. Are you still with us?
And while we're waiting for Mystic Dreamer to either indicate a general reading or a question, I'll remind everybody about our haiku. So you can see that on our Facebook and Twitter page. And it's very funny. So go ahead and look at that. It is. It's honestly very funny. And then, of course, come back and see us on Thursday night, possibly 7 to 9 p.m. or next Sunday is our schedule. And we're also on Facebook. So that's our Facebook address. You can also leave messages at our Gmail, at our Twitter, or at our Facebook.
Yeah, do feel free to DM me if you want to.
You're welcome, Ellis.
You have
It
any
was
questions or you
interesting.
just want to chat? I'm open to that. I've been pretty much managing the Twitter page, but Mr. Oberon, he gets there from time to time as well.
Well, the thing we have to remember about past lives, I think, Ellis, is that our personality now is not exactly our core soul, whether we believe in those principles religiously, spiritually, whatever. And so the thing is, it's probably very likely for us to have a very different personality and attitude about things in another life. And that even though that soul has a need to learn certain lessons, it may be learning those lessons filtered through a different kind of personality. So the best example I've heard of that is a person who possibly was very promiscuous in one lifetime and discovering that in this lifetime they're actually very the opposite, but they're always being confronted with situations that might provoke them to be promiscuous. And so the thing is that it's sort of a lesson from their past and they're being challenged in the current life to do that. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've heard that. I've heard some other examples like that.
Okay.
They're almost always related to the fact that in different bodies and different lifetimes, we may actually have different genders, different gender relationships. So, for example, I've had several past life readings that indicate that I probably have been female just as often as I've been male, if not even more so, and that this lovely person sitting next to me has actually been my sister or my sibling in a number of my past lives, and that most of it sounds like we were sisters, but there were some where she was the brother and I was the sister, or vice versa. My son supposedly has been with me in past lives too, but he was outside of the family, and he liked the family so much that he decided to incarnate into the family.
Oh, you're bumping the mic almost.
Okay.
So beware.
Okay, so,
So
I've been blathering, waiting for
yes,
Mystic
he
Dreamer.
has. And Mystic Dreamer, if you're here, we might have to get back to you because
Yes, we've been sisters.
yeah. We act like sisters sometimes, I have to say. But at any rate, I'm going to keep Mystic Dreamer on the list, but we're going to move on to Angel Destiny. If you're still with us and you'd like to ask a question, we're available now.
And we are just through the first half of our segment, so if you are still here, don't be shy. Ask us about a reading, because that's what we're here for.
And, if things die down, we have a few other
Hi,
things.
Angel Destiny. Go ahead. Tell us if you're interested in a general or if you have a question of some sort.
And I'm going to shuffle these a little bit. Oh, sorry, kitty. It's
But we're
using
using
my
my deck.
cards as a pillow.
You're the Lenormand.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Lenormand.
Next and how. Okay, that sounds like
Where
one
I'm
of your
going
readings.
next and how. Okay.
So we're going to use my Night Sun Tarot again. And I'm going to
Don't
shuffle.
pound too hard, dear.
I am so sorry.
Oh, you know, little things mean a lot when
Next
you're
and how.
live.
That's a tall order, maybe.
So let's see. What do I got? So you want to know where you're going next and how.
The
Okay,
Lenormand will
I have
probably help.
life at present, your attitudes, and where things are headed. Let's try that and see what we get.
Okay, and I have shuffled so you can.
It's kind of
Oh,
like
no
your
little woman
attitudes
here
or what you
today.
what you need to keep in mind is kind of that second card.
It's probably my
So
sweater.
let's see what's going on. I
Hi,
like your
Viridian.
name, Angel Destiny. That's very nice.
Hi, Viridian. And we have 2 or 3 in front of you if you're here for a reading.
Yeah, I think we're down to 3 in front of you now, Viridian, so we'll try to get you in. We still have a full hour left. A little bit, yeah, about a full hour left. Okay. All right. I'm going to put you down on my list for Viridian, and welcome.
Okay, so you can format the reading for me, but it's basically the question was, where are you going next and how?
That was her question, and so right now we're looking at her life at present, attitudes or what they need to be focusing on.
The Knight of Pentacles.
Okay, and it's reversed.
Whoops, I gotta put the other one on.
Sorry, we had the wrong camera on there.
And you know what? One of the other cats almost jumped into my lap.
Oh dear.
Okay, so for that first card, we drew the Knight of Pentacles reversed, and that was the attitude at present?
No, that's life at present.
Life at present.
Yep.
And so this tells me, Angel, that there's some real slowdowns in your life right now. There's a coming or going of a matter that relates to basically a situation resolving very slowly for you. You're trying to put something in motion. It maybe is the plans you would like to see happen, but it seems like you can't get it moving for some reason or the other. What do you want to say?
It is a
about
bit
that?
of sluggishness, like there's some kind of a slowing down right now. And it could relate to business affairs or finances a little bit, as
It
I'd
could,
say. So, you know, and also maybe a little bit too of your own lack of motivation right now.
Are you in between jobs possibly? Or I'm also getting the feeling too, like maybe there's something that's supposed to happen with a bank, like either a loan you're waiting for that you need, or some situation. Maybe you're thinking about something coming to you. So that maybe is what the slowdown is about too. What you got?
Attitudes are what you should keep in mind. Well, it is justice reversed.
Justice reversed. We're on our streak of reverse cards again.
Again.
Esoteric, where are you?
So basically, justice reversed is like, you know, life sometimes, maybe your attitude is, you know, that you feel like, you know, that things have been a little bit unfair, that you haven't been treated fairly in some situation, or you have to watch your own attitudes too, you know, that you are not being too judgmental in a particular. But I sense this is coming at you, and this is what you're feeling, like you've been dealt a bad hand right now or something. Fate has been not that
What was
kind.
the position again?
That's attitudes are what you need to keep in mind.
Okay, would you say that maybe recently, possibly, you've been in a court of law or you've been involved with a lawyer or something like that? Because I get the feeling like that's what's on your mind, that you're thinking about what Banshee said, some particular injustice or a feeling like something went against you, a judgment went against you, like maybe it was a small claims court or something like that, and the judge said no.
That could be anything to me. You know, you tried to apply for a job and you feel that, you know, Maybe they thought you were too young, too old, too inexperienced. They didn't really give
Unfairness.
you,
Yeah.
yes, they didn't give you a fair shake. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this card. And
Okay.
that's what's on your mind. But I think what the message here for me is that you have to just let that go. You have to let that go and realize that that's not going to stop you from moving in the direction you want to move into.
Right, because the first card, which was about the now, right?
Right, the here and now.
Is the coming or going of things, and so that's the point. Is it's going to go. So just let it go. It may not go as quickly as you want, but it will go. Okay, the final card is. Or
The final
next
card is where things are headed.
Oh,
What is that?
9 of Wands.
Oh,
9 of Wands.
nice,
Good.
I
Good.
think, because it is upright.
It looks a little strange looking for this deck, the Knight
May
Sun
I?
Tarot. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to say about this card. Oftentimes, if you look at it with the Rider-Waite symbology, you see a man who kind of looks like he's been through battle. He's got wounds. He's kind of standing there with all of his wands in a row. So what this tells me, the 9 of Wands upright, is you've kind of been through a little bit of a trial here, but you are prepared and ready for the future. You have all those wands stacked up. You are ready to go, and you're ready to meet your destiny, with a lot more confidence because you survived. You
Yeah,
you didn't
and
get beaten down.
That's what it is that because you have already survived some of the beating down, what it is you know where you've been, and you know how bad it has been, and so you haven't really felt that it's taken you down yet.
Thank you,
So
Angel.
so you're having a good feeling about that. It's just you next and how, or what and how. So maybe this is her
Well, I
question.
think that was also, well, okay, may not explain the how. Maybe we will see a little bit more here. But I really think it's about up here. You just can't let that slow you down.
Most of these cards are more about the attitude too. So that's what it is that maybe this how is really there in your head already, and it's basically just aligning your attitude with the practical situation of what it is you really want to do. In other words, at some point, and I think you probably know how to do this because I'm getting the sense of that, is that you do have to just sort of take the emotion out of it. And I know that as a customer service person in my other life, that sometimes I feel like, a customer is wrong, but I'm putting my own emotionality into that. I'm taking it too personally. And so the thing is that sometimes you have to separate yourself from that too personal thing there. So the thing is that you might have some of these stagnations going on, but you should just resolve to not let it be personal and to just keep achieving.
Well, and I drew some Lenormand cards, and I have to say that I don't know what it is about today because this has not happened quite in this fashion. It seems like every reading I'm getting one of the cards I had in the reading previous. So this time,
We're all connected.
I have the lilies again
The
and
lilies
the book.
again.
And I'm of two minds on this one, Angel. And I'd like to say that I don't know if you're a student, but it seems as though there's if you are, you're still in the throes of your studies, and this is going to be something you're going to be pursuing for some time yet. Or on the other hand, the way I look at this is as well is you're going to find out something. The book is like a new chapter beginning for you. You might find out some information about a new chapter beginning for you that has long-term implications for you. Something that could be lasting. A lasting success, maybe a lasting new relationship or partnership. Something very positive.
Do you possibly think that you're good with things that are growing like flowers? Like maybe you would be interested in studying floral arrangements
Botany?
or horticulture or something like that. I don't really know what the job market is for those kind of things, but I'm just wondering if you have an affinity towards that because I don't really read her Lenormand, so I just look at those pictures and I listen to what Banshee says and I sort of
Wing
go
it from there with this
in
intuition.
between that, and I'm thinking like maybe you'll want to work at a florist or work with floral arrangements, or maybe you need to learn more about growing things, and maybe that's more of a metaphor too, because growing things is not just necessarily herbalism. So it could be connotated by this card. So maybe that's just giving you a little idea of
Oh,
an
that's
area
an interesting
to think
idea.
about.
That's true. Yeah, and I think that, like I said, the lily sometimes also means sensuality and sexuality. But in this case, because it's got the book there, and I could say, that could be also an opening up to some sensual, sexual experiences. But I do feel that it's something long term, some knowledge that's going to serve you well long term, and it's going to let you know about an opportunity even that could have long term implications for you. So I hope that helped. And we're going to move on
Always
to
be ambitious.
yeah, we're going to move on to Earth Angel. If you are still with us, Earth Angel.
And I'll just
And
let
if
you
you
warm up
have
the
a
deck
question,
this time.
hey, we have angels here today, and we have Angel Destiny and Earth Angel. It's awesome.
Okay, warm up the deck.
Okay, I shall. And our cat is just so laid back here when we're reading.
He's kind of like the mascot. Early on, the other two would show up a little bit, but he is very consistent. He likes to be here. And earlier, if some of you came in during the program earlier, it was like we were setting up and he was like ready. He just knows as soon as we lay down our little reading mat, he knows it's time
Well,
to
you know
jump
what?
in.
I'm on to him. I know his game. He knows that I'm trying to stop him from knocking things over, knocking over the camera. So of course we want to give him a lot of
He
attention.
did knock over the camera one time, didn't he?
did.
Yeah, it was about a month ago.
Well,
I
he
think.
knocked over the light. Remember, we
Oh, he
had the
knocked over
light
the light and the light
catastrophe.
shattered. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost a light because of him. But we can't be angry at him for too long. He's such a sweetie. He knows it's time to nap on the table and get his daily dose of hugs and pets. Okay, so do we still have, I'm going to ask again for Earth Angel, if you do have a particular question.
Earth Angel, Earth Angel.
Oh no, he's singing.
That's an old
That's
song.
kind of where I draw the line. Now, when I did my
Will
rant.
May call me on her own?
Oh, okay, that sounds like a yes, no. Do you want to
Okay.
use my deck or yours?
I'd want to continue using mine, at least for this reading, then for the next ones.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So am I cutting?
Um,
Wait, I didn't shuffle yet.
no, we didn't shuffle yet. Really.
You shuffled.
I did.
I didn't.
So let's do it as a yes, no question and see what we
so
come
it's
up
about
with.
going back to work.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's ask that
Say
question.
no more. Say no more.
So we will see what these cards say. We're doing a yes, no question. Sometimes it's a real flat out yes or a
Go ahead,
flat
shuffle.
out no. And other times there's some nuance and we can provide some more information. And of course, I will throw some Lenormand cards to see what we get. Oh, did you want to pick them up?
Yeah. No, I don't want to do that.
I forgot myself. We're a team.
Okay. Will May call on her own. Will May be asking for you back at work.
It'll take a minute to lay these out. We're looking for something specific. We are looking for aces. See if an ace comes up in 13 cards, and if not, we move on to the second pile. There it is. So we got an ace.
It's called the Three Aces Yes or No spread.
Oh, and while he's doing that, I am just going to say I brought something down today. It's really funny. And I'm just going to show it here just briefly. I don't know how much you're going to be able to see inside there. There's a little, whoops, let me get it in the camera. There's a little rock inside of this glass. And it's for yes, no kind of readings too. You kind of shake it like dice, you know. And it's got it's got Degas, a rune on it, which means breakthrough, which means yes. And it's got a Isa on it, which is a straight line, which usually means standstill, which means no. So it's kind of a fun little toy that I have to do little simple yes-no readings. And I'm not going to do that for you, but I might just play with it later to show people how it works because, you know, it's not something I standardly read for others with, but if we do reading parties for people, you know, in our community, I bring some of these these things out so people will have something to do while they're waiting for their readings from us.
Okay, Earth Angel, thank you for waiting.
Yes.
And the answer to your question, I'm going to probably ask you a couple of other questions too. But what I'm getting is that it's not incredibly likely. I won't say it's a flat out no, but I don't think it's very likely that May is going to call you back.
Oh, I have a question. Can I ask?
Go ahead.
Is there like a conflict of personalities going on here?
Well, I sense that too, but I also sense something else. I'm actually wondering if May, besides being somebody that you work with, possibly a supervisor, that maybe you have your own other friendship or situation too on the side. Just wondering because I sort of felt that. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a good or bad thing, but maybe there, sometimes when a friend is an employer, there can be frictions because each has a different set of expectations from that relationship. So I'm not sure if that pertains to what you're asking.
Well, at any rate, it does look like there's a potential for no here. And the reason for me is I sense that there's a kind of a conflict between the two of you in some way, or that you're working at cross purposes.
Well, and I go sometimes not so much, I go sometimes with just placements as opposed to also the meaning. And so what I'm seeing is your other two parts is two queens. And they're one's upside ups and one's upside down, one's right side up. And of course you could turn around and then it's the same thing. So they're sort of like in a conflict.
Okay. I get that. Sometimes we get so close to the people we work with that sometimes we reveal a lot to each other. And, that can often have implications.
Well, I'm seeing that there's only a smaller possibility that they'll ask you back. I don't think it's overwhelmingly or 50%. It's under 50%. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think there may be some issues that are personal to work out for some reason. Though on one hand,
Go ahead.
I do feel that there is like kind of a love-hate relationship with you guys. Like sometimes you really love each other, but sometimes you really don't. Like there's a bickeriness.
I get
She went crazy on you.
Oh, she clearly had a bad day. Yeah, it's rough. I've had that happen in jobs previously where, somebody will take out their day on you.
You might have to be the bigger person and try to forgive them before they're ready to forgive themselves or the situation.
Here's the thing. You may have to be, the tarot is not set in stone. And oftentimes we like to think that the tarot gives you a direction that you can approach this with and maybe possibly make some changes to make a yes happen instead of a no. And so what I would suggest to you in this case is maybe you need to approach this person and say, hey, is there any way that, we can resolve said issues and move on constructively from there because I really enjoy working with you? You might have to be the bigger person in that regard and initiate that. What do you say?
Well, I agree with that, but I also feel too like there is an imbalance in your relationship with this person, and I'm not sure if you have any recourse because maybe they're doing a set of books that looks one way to the proper authorities. Are you being paid under the table, or is there taxation going on? Because that could be the only way that they're getting away with that, possibly. I'm not really sure. So you need to be asked, basically, is what you want. And what do you got?
Well, I've got an interesting combination here. I have the
Is that
child,
called the child?
and I have the son. And there are a couple ways you can look at this combination with the Lenormand. And one of them is that child often means something small. So it could be small success. And what I'm thinking of here in terms of is there may be a better opportunity for you, but it's not going to be really hugely better, but it might be something that comes up that will be better for you. This could also mean success in a short time. In other words, it may take a little time for her to resolve, or your boss to resolve these issues, and maybe in time there's a potential for a callback. Because the sun is a very positive, successful card.
Yeah, I don't know Lenormand, but from a symbol point of view, I get the feeling like that's the sun you said, right?
Yes. Hmm.
That there's some time involved here. I'm glad you have another job because I think Banshee's right. I think there's a potential for this person to kind of resolve this
Come around
and to look
eventually.
around and to see favor with you.
I don't
But
think it's going to happen right
I
away.
don't think right. I don't think it's going to happen right away. I think it'll clearly be somewhere in the new year. I don't think it's going to be by the
Hmm.
end of this year. So keep your options open with that because it could happen if that's what you want to do. But I think you should absolutely hold out for your original pay.
And I also think that, if you even consider looking beyond that, that's a possibility as well. To me, also, this could mean that, maybe things could resolve positively with this person, but the child being here indicates to me that it could be for just a short time. In other words, it might be a short time before this person freaks out again on the job, and maybe this is just a part of their personality.
Earth Angel, I was drawn to take another card. I took it from the bottom of my third pile. And my specific thought was about what you're saying about that person and how you were polite, but you resigned.
Hmm.
And I drew the reversed Eight of Swords, which we've had in a different deck for a different reading. And the immediate thought I felt there was they may call you back, but I think you're going to move on to something else.
Hmm.
I think this is a card of you moving on, and at first it'll feel like you're unsure because you don't exactly see your path, but you are moving on, and I think you will find something better.
We
I'm
had that card
drawn
today too.
to pick another card,
What? Okay.
and I was drawn to pick another card, and I picked Justice. And see, I think you're moving on, and in that moving on, you're going to find something that's a fairer deal for you. Like I said, I think it's not going to happen right away. I think it might happen in the next few months. So I would be tickled pink or tickled tarot if you came back in a few months and told us that it did work out for you, or if you had other questions too, of course. So, um, yeah, but that's what I'm seeing there. So,
So hopefully it'll be okay. I think in the end, somehow you're going to come out ahead. That's just what it looks like to me. It may not be, the way you want it to, especially if you really like that job. Maybe that you will be somewhere else. So anyway, we have Renosa next, if Renosa is still near us. And thank you, Earth Angel, for joining us today and asking
good
your
luck, Earth
question.
Angel. Thank you.
Do feel free to subscribe, and we're here twice weekly. Do you want to put up our
Yes,
little?
we do every night. We do a one card reading for the following day. We call that Tarot for Tomorrow. So, towards the end of the evening, we will post that, and it's for the next day. It's a one card reading, and we both weigh in on what that means, and we try to use the context of some previous days to illuminate that. So, you're welcome, Earth Angel. Do come and look at that. That's on our Facebook site as well as on our Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so I'm going to ask again, Renosa, if you are still with us and you have a question, this is your moment to ask it. And
And we're going to switch to your deck now. I
oh,
think.
yeah, that's right. Okay, mine is not a Halloween themed
And I
deck.
no longer need that.
But, okay, mine is not a Halloween themed deck. However, the color scheme on it, like the backs of the cards, etc., are really kind of nice fall colors in a way. If you switch cameras there, I'll just show the backs of the nice Ciro Marchetti decks. So I really like using them.
I want to have a small round of applause for some of the people in the chat room, specifically Ellis and Soul, Smiling Soul, because they're always welcoming to all of the people that visit us, and they have good words of encouragement about their readings and about their life situations. So here to you guys, thank you.
Bravo, bravo. And also, I'm not hearing from
Renosa.
Renosa, so we'll just give it another minute, and if not, then is it Jaya? Jaya will be up.
Viridian? No.
That's
Oh, Jaya.
Jaya.
Okay, and I was going to say something too.
Okay, Jaya, if you are there, we'd be happy to read for you right now. So if you have a specific question or you just want a general reading, please let us know.
I know there are other people watching us, so
And-
you're welcome. I really mean that too. We missed you the last time when you didn't show up, and we missed Smiling Soul too. So you guys are kind of like our extra mascots too. But you're not feline, but that's okay.
As you can see, things are hopping, and we're really grateful that people have found us, but we're also trying to figure out how all of a sudden the floodgates have opened, and we're thinking that maybe it was something on YouTube's end of
Our
things.
son says that YouTube may have changed some algorithms, and we may actually be getting a little more exposure in search engines and stuff.
And it might
So,
be because we've been posting, that we stream routinely.
Hi, Junior Goddess. We
Junior
are
Goddess,
taking questions now. We've been looking for two people who seem to have disappeared.
So you are like, we're going to see who comes up, but there's two people in front of you, Junior Goddess. If you can hang on with us or come back in a few.
There may only be one in front of you because we haven't reached the two we've
I'm
been
waiting to
paging
hear
for,
from
so.
Jaya and to see if Jaya's still here.
Okay, we're going to give a last call for either Renosa or Jaya, and then we're going to move on to Viridian, and hopefully Viridian will be there.
Well, people come and go, and that's fine. I understand that people can't stay for a whole 2-hour live stream, but it does, make us think about our future. We may end up doing more videos where we provide other content to you like we like to do. Like, for example, I like to show off new decks that I buy and things like that. I do review things, and I only bring things to your attention that I think are of value. I don't dog things. I just like to show you resources that I like to use and have fun with, and other things.
Let's ask for Viridian.
Okay. All right. Viridian, are you with us?
If you're in the chat room, now is your moment to ask us a question. Yay to new decks. And speaking of new decks,
Yes.
if anybody out there knows, or has the rights to any tarot decks and they would like to have us use them, if you give us permission, we will feature them. And we know there's a few folks out there that do have some decks.
With artistic talent.
Just write us a short email at our Gmail account, tfttarot4today@gmail, and we would like to use them and give you full credit and attribution for that.
And as we have, and I'm going to give another call, shout out to Viridian to see if they're still with us and are typing up their reading. We'll give you another minute while I say and remind people, our Halloween, we plan on doing a 3-hour live stream. Da-da-da.
That's scary, Banshee.
It is scary because, we know that people are going to be busy that night too and may not be able to even tune in to us, but we're going to see what happens.
Spend a little time on Halloween with us.
And if you can't spend that time with us, we're going to have, we're going to do some other things on that show.
What's that, Banshee?
Well, we're going to play with the past life decks and different things, and you might want to catch our video later if you can't catch us live.
That's correct. And we also have 2 other extra contents for Halloween. We're going to be doing the dramatic recitation of our Halloween haiku. That ought to be a scream. That'll probably be Halloween morning.
And not affiliated with our 3-hour live stream, but will be Halloween night. Did you say at midnight or midnight Halloween? So the morning.
Well, it's gonna. Are you talking about my?
Yes. When is it going to be? Like.
I'm gonna premiere that at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, okay. 11 p.m. Eastern
11
Standard
p.m.
Time.
And that will be just a short, maybe 10 to 15 minute meditation on Halloween through the tarot cards. And I've really busting everything for that one. I've done a lot of extra filming in very Halloween-like locales.
Oh boy.
So yes, you should be scared or something. Hopefully it'll all look good.
Okay.
My Halloween gift.
Oh, Renosa, was I skipped?
No, you're just in time.
You're just in time because 2 other people after you have disappeared. So we will let you go with your question.
Yeah, give us a question.
And then Junior Goddess will hopefully get to you unless Jaya and Viridian come back.
Viridian might be next. If
We still have 30 minutes left in the live stream, so no worries.
Does DJ want to come back to you? Okay.
Okay.
Is this a standard yes or no? Or is this more
Let's
of a
do a yes
relationship
or
one?
no first, and
Okay.
if we have to throw some other cards, we will. 'Cause that sounds like a standard yes or no. Did I shuffle these already? I did not. Right? So I am.
I am full of energy today, as you can see, and I'm warm as anything. I think I
Yeah,
wore
it
a
got
sweater
warm
that I
in
shouldn't have
here.
worn.
You know, the sun is coming through our window behind us here, and I think
Viridian, you
feeling
will
it.
be next after Renosa. We're just starting Renosa's reading right now, so hang in there. And then, yeah, you will be next after the one we're going to do right now.
so. Hang in there because yep, we are
Cut.
moving along, and more people are joining us. I am cutting.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Renosa, this is our reading for you. And your question was, does DJ want to come back to you?
Oh. Yeah. And again, for people who are joining or coming in and out, we're using the Ciro Marchetti deck this time. The Tarot Grand Lux, his latest deck, and it's just gorgeous.
Okay, Renosa, nothing is ever absolute in tarot readings. They're more of a snapshot in time. But having said that, you have pretty good chances of having DJ come back. You have 2/3 of a chance at least. It's more likely that they will come back than that they won't come back. And that one is kind of like you may find that you're. Go ahead. You have something.
No, I sense that there is somebody is giving this a lot of thought. And maybe there is a lot on their mind right now, too, that has been keeping them from coming back. There seems to be like some decisions or worries that,
This
are
is the key
attached to
here.
this.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question, Renosa. Did you also work or have some other situation that had you involved with DJ? Like were you partners in or co-workers or friends in some other
Students.
context, students, something like that? Because I get the feeling like there's a little bit of a tie between you beyond the relationship that may have been. So I'm just wondering about that. And like Banshee said, I think it's a matter of time, maybe some consideration before it does happen, or to ensure that it will happen.
It may be that they are distracted, the DJ is distracted by other concerns and matters right now that are taking precedence.
Right, that they may actually feel like they have to push
Oh,
into
look.
it.
They went to high school
Okay.
together. Okay.
Well, but okay, and I don't know how long ago that was, but I get the feeling too that maybe the connective tissue between you guys also involves a project that maybe one or the other of you also finds is a focal point, and that maybe DJ has this other thing that they're really focusing on, but still they're not quite there yet, so they're sort of struggling to balance some things.
Now, also, if there were some serious, say some issues between the two of you, that might be also what DJ is wrestling with right now. Or, for that matter, if there is somebody else involved, this is also, which he's determining, determining which direction they would like to go.
Okay, what you got?
I'm going to draw a couple of Lenormand cards for you just to see if it provides me with more information. Our friend,
dear.
the social. Well,
And that was in the last one too,
yeah,
wasn't
you
it?
had issues. Well, I will say, this is not like a fox in the hen house here.
Oh, I don't know.
But-
I'm getting a sense of something.
But it does show, that somebody has been, socializing quite a bit.
Hi, Jaya.
Maybe getting back out into social circles, or maybe that was part of the problem, that there was this distraction of being involved in too many other things, which caused, a separation. I sense that. I'm not saying this is showing any type of resolution here, other than that might play into what this reading was about. What do you see there?
Well, you haven't said this, but I'm wondering, Renosa, did DJ possibly do something that you felt was inappropriate? Like maybe you found out that they were also trying to date somebody else or have a situation with somebody else, and that might have been part of the problem. I just got a little sense of that with the fox, because the fox is kind of says that to me. But I also get the feeling too, like maybe if it wasn't that kind of a betrayal, that maybe there was another kind of situation that you felt was inappropriate with how that happened between you two, and that you kind of just decided to be in your own space for the time being. But now maybe you're interested to see if your issues have resolved.
Well, that is the best we can do right now because we've got to keep moving with another reading. But I hope this helped in some way, and also do check back with us. The tarot, is life is constantly evolving, and some of the things that we've given you to think about here may inspire you to take certain actions or not that could influence a situation. So do check in again, and we'll
I'm going
see
to
what the
quickly
cards
add something there for you,
hold.
though, and I don't think that they cheated. They might have tried to think about that, but I don't think they physically cheated. I get the feeling like there was a bond between you two that was there, but that some other issue happened.
We have to move
So
on.
I don't think they physically cheated.
We have another person, so we really need
It's
to
Laura's
time
back. Hi,
management. How are you, Laura? We now have a dilemma because of Viridian Jaya came
Jaya
back.
was before Viridian
Yes.
originally?
Yes.
How do you want to do this?
Well, Jaya, could you hang on a little bit while we do Viridian's reading first, and then we will do you next, and we will also
You're
do
welcome,
Junior
Renosa.
Goddess.
Laura, you may be
And I
a
promise-
couple down the road, so we're not really sure with the time we have, but we can try.
Oh, we will fit you in.
Thank you, Jaya.
Even if we go a little overtime. But I might have to bring out the cane or the hook to rein Mr. Energy in today.
Viridian, do you have a specific question?
No, it was we were going
Or
to.
are we doing Jaya
we
first?
were
I thought
doing
Jaya
Ja-
was going to wait for
Oh.
after Viridian.
Okay.
No?
Now I
Is
don't
that
know
what
because they're both saying things. I had said Jaya first and asked Viridian if he could wait.
And of course, there's still Junior Goddess.
Yes, well she was after those two.
Okay, these are the cards we're using.
I know, but I was just shuffling my Lenormand.
What's coming for Viridian in love?
Okay. All right, Viridian. Let's see what we've got.
And thank you, Jaya, for waiting.
Yes, thank you, Jaya. We will get to you honest, and sorry your net kind of went down on you there.
Hey, pretty boy.
Okay.
So what will this reading be?
Well, am I shuffling last? Did you shuffle already?
I did.
Okay. I haven't had a chance to look, but I'm going to see. Well, Laura, we might be able to fit you in. No,
We
don't.
might be able to. We're not
Stay
sure.
tuned. I hate to have you disappear on us. Okay, so you want to know what's coming towards you in love. So we're going to do feelings about love and relationships at this present moment, the current situation, and if there's a new relationship or what next steps are coming to you.
Current feelings.
Yes.
So the first card we pull is
The Nine of Wands.
You are a survivor of love. You are a survivor. You've dealt with the worst and you're still on top.
Yes.
You're not totally jaded about this. You just sort of feel like you're actually eternally optimistic that at some point the right one will happen or another right one will happen.
It shows that possibly, I'm not saying you've recently come out of a bad relationship, but you've had, some bad relationship experiences, one or two, and, it's left you kind of reeling. And, but it seems as though right now you're prepared. You're ready for something new to happen and develop.
So the openness is part of what will bring something to you. Now, what's the second card?
Current situation. Wow. Awesome. Some victory, some movement for sure is, and maybe some communications are going to be stimulated. So I think that all is looking like green light right now for something to happen.
Viridian, I get the feeling that this card says that you usually are the person who I don't mean this in a bad sense, but you're the more aggressive person in a relationship. You're the more proponent kind of person that you kind of create the thrust and move the energy forward. And so that's what I'm seeing there, that's really going to be your card that you hold.
That's an awesome card. So it does indicate forward movement with something happening. I mean, that's air.
A beginning too.
That is reflective of air, and air is movement, and
and it is a beginning
life.
too. It's like something new is
Yeah.
going to happen. So, and it's probably going to be something that you will be more able to provoke.
Correct. And the final card is there going to be a new relationship or next steps in? Okay. Well,
This is a hard call.
It is a hard call. It's the Hanged Man reversed, which means to me you have to be willing to give a little bit more of yourself this time, and maybe, like he said, you seem to be taking the lead in things. You are going to have to kind of move the energy along.
It may be that the next person that you're interested in and that you begin moving in that direction, that they might want the energy to move differently somehow.
They may have expectations.
Right. They might have expectations, and that the feeling I'm getting is that it will be a big challenge for you because you're going to actually have to try to be a little bit different than you normally are. That maybe you have to be more open to the idea of playing hard to get in a way when normally you might be more of the active personality.
Very good.
Yes, son man.
And I'm just going to draw a couple of Lenormand cards for you, Viridian, and let's see what they will tell us. If they give us any further insight on this.
Look at this boy. You are correct, Ellis. He was having a nice nap. And now he just wants to be adored.
Let me ask you this, Viridian. I feel like that here we have two cards. One is the Scythe, and one is the Lilies. And I get the feeling that, you must have been in a relationship. I'm not going to say, I'll hazard a guess. Had you been involved in a relationship where there was a divorce, a real serious parting of ways?
So think about that. What would be your thought, though?
My thought is that is gone. That particular relationship is over. It may have been something that might have been a longer-term relationship of some sort, and that maybe now you are moving swiftly towards really, I would say, kind of a physical sort of relationship, because the Lilies are that kind of card. They talk about sensuality and sexuality, and so that's what I see as the potential coming to you.
Yeah, and I'm not clear either. I mean, I don't know you really, so these symbols sort of tell me that maybe you cut and run in a way that you just said, not worth it, getting out, because it wasn't. And you are welcome to judge that. But where you may be going is maybe not necessarily a very attached relationship, but more into it for the qualities of sensuality, companionship, and just having something, reliable, a person to be there. But the relationship that you may be looking for may not be super deep. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can relate to that. But that's what I kind of get the feeling there. Or it could just mean, too, that maybe that's the kind of relationship that you will end up in. One that's not super deep because maybe both of you have that agreement.
And that's what we have for you, Viridian. And thank you for hanging in with us and coming back and getting your reading. And like we've said to previous viewers,
subscribe, check in again, and tell us what's going on.
Subscribe, because then you get notified, of when we're live streaming. We have occasional issues on Sunday because one of us work Sundays on occasion, so we have to move our live stream to evening once a month on Sundays.
We will usually announce that on our Twitter or Facebook and in previous programs. Mm-hmm. So we're going to move on to Jaya.
Yes, Jaya, are you with us? And we'll get your reading in right now.
And just go ahead and shoot Jaya if you want a general reading.
Do you want to use your deck now?
I could use it again.
Okay.
Or a different one even.
Well, feel free.
I'll use my Rider-Waite this time.
Okay. You're very welcome, Viridian.
Thank you for subscribing.
So much.
Appreciate that.
Yes, and we hope to see you again soon. And good
Alrighty.
luck with things, where things are headed.
And Jaya, go ahead and shoot. Tell us
Okay.
either you want a general or you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you have a question, just fire away.
Are you going to ask about something you're dreaming about, or is it something that you do dream about? Dreaming about it, not necessarily in a real dream.
Did you drop a card again?
Yeah, I did.
We have this saying.
No, actually, it just kind of showed
really?
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we do have this saying that if we drop a card, we say what falls to the floor comes to the door. So I always tend to look at that card to see if it's giving us, some information we need to know about the situation.
So are you saying that the person you feel attracted to, at least in theory, Do you understand the question? I'm not sure if I do.
I know he cheated. Oh, okay. So are you saying that you want to know if... So do you want to know if he's really going to be serious with you, or that you should trust him? Is that the issue here? Or him or her? I don't want to assign pronouns.
If that is the question, I get the feeling like they might not necessarily be truthful and honest enough because of a reversed Ace of Swords that fell down.
Oh, okay. Well.
Okay. Go ahead and shuffle.
All right. Okay.
So what kind of reading is this?
Well, I would have
yes
looked,
no,
but you told me to go ahead and shuffle, so I have to do that.
But I was done.
So, all right. So what was it that you said? It was about the, what is she saying yes to? What is the person saying yes to?
Well, I was talking about the card that fell.
Oh, okay.
The Ace of Swords reversed, and that I felt that meant that the person was distrustful, maybe, or that you were having a hard time trusting them.
Well, let me take a look here. I will look at my spreads a minute. I'm going to have you shuffle again real quickly.
Okay.
Clear those cards, and let's get the energy flowing here. We're going to do one with, let's see where you both are at. I'm going to do one that's going to talk about your attitude towards this person's attitude towards you, and where things are headed. So let's just get a window into both of you guys and see where things might or might not be headed.
The cards are cut and on the table.
Oh. And the first one is
her attitude.
Yeah.
Their attitude.
It looks like this is your attitude towards this person. And it seems to me that you're trying to recover and let go from some hurtful action of some sort.
You may feel
or
you want to
perceived
forgive
action.
them. You may feel you want to forgive them, but
You're not sure.
there's still the acknowledgement that what they did was very hurtful.
Yeah. The Three of Swords does show kind of a recovery process, but this is for you. And so, but and it's still showing kind of an uncertain condition as to where you want to go with this. Are you just going to, accept what has happened and move on? Or are you going to really trust again and let this person back into your life?
This is them. And this was the card that fell before. This is
ironic.
the same card. It fell before.
And this is that person.
And I thought it was that person. And I thought that this indicated maybe there were some trust issues with that person.
Things happen for a reason.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else I'm feeling there. And I get the feeling, too, that maybe some of what they were doing was beyond your actual relationship, that they might have done things that were bad or wrong for things you own. Like maybe there was just something a little bit mistrustful about them, that maybe they coveted something else you had. Or I get the feeling there was
Are you saying there might have been ulterior motives to have the relationship?
Maybe, or that they came up at some point when they realized what they thought was available.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing there, is that maybe there are ulterior motives that this individual has at this time towards you. It's not necessarily pure intention, if you are following what I'm saying. And the final card is where things are heading or not. And that's kind of to me a little bit ambivalent, but what do you think? Because
I think this card means that to some degree you're going to put yourself in a standing position. You're not going to say yes or no. You're going to kind of just hold yourself there. You're not going to be unaccessible, but you're not going to be totally available. And you're going to possibly sort of demand or expect that some things will be proven to your satisfaction, that either the person can be trustful again or that the person can be forgiven for, their transgression. But I think that's what it is. And so the thing is that I don't see the relationship being totally over, but I don't see it really moving anywhere significant at this time. I get the feeling like it could go on this way for a while, or maybe eventually you might decide to just move on. That might be over several months or longer. I don't think you're going to decide any of this really soon. You might not decide anytime until early in the next year.
I have a very interesting Lenormand card pull for you, Jaya, and let's take a look at that. That is the Sun, which is usually a bright, happy, successful card, and in a lot of cases it helps to take away some of the badness of negative cards that come with it, and that would be the mice.
But they're so cute.
The mice are not a happy card because look at them. They're nibbling away at your resources or your energy. They're draining you in some way. They're possibly making you stressed out. So I would say to you, make sure that this relationship and this person is really worth the trouble. But I also sense with the Sun that success could happen. However, it may not be conditions that'll be totally right for you.
It's a dichotomy here, a real contradiction in a sense, because there is something actually that you really like about them and maybe that they really like about you. There's something that's magnetic or drawing or something good about that person, or that you see that there. Yet at the same time, there's a potential for them to kind of detract from other goals of your own too. So it may be the kind of thing like if it's too good to be true, then it isn't. But it really is going to end up being, you're going to have to, like I said, give it a little more time and weigh what's going on there. And that actions do speak louder than words. And so feeling that strong positive energy is one thing, but you also have to be careful about what they're actually doing. You have to just keep mind on that.
Yes. So I hope that helped in some way and fashion, and feel free to come visit us again. Subscribe. You'll be notified of, when we are doing our live streams.
But generally we are on this time, Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or on Thursday nights from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we do like doing the readings. It's
absolutely
very interesting for us to do this, to stretch our capabilities. That past life reading we had with Ellis, that was really fascinating for me. You are very welcome, Jaya.
You're very welcome, Jaya. Join us again.
Hope to see you again.
And now I think we are on Junior Goddess. Are you still with us?
Junior Goddess. Paging Junior Goddess. We need a miracle. Hello, is anyone there?
Well, and we'll give her a few minutes to respond.
All right, there she is.
Oh, yay. Okay. I don't know why my tablet takes a little longer to see the chat, but I'm glad you're with us, Junior Goddess. Do you have a question for us? Shoot away.
We might just finish it up. We got somebody else.
Well, we do have Laura, and you know what? If we go into a few minutes overtime, that is not a problem.
We can do that, Laura. If you're still hanging around, we can go a few minutes after the hour. So
do not feel you're putting us out. You are.
Okay, about your job in general.
Okay, all right.
What kind of reading do you think that?
Well, I'm going to hand it to you to shuffle, and I am going to look. Let me see.
Junior Goddess, I know you have the inside track with another particular nice person we know. I just want you to tell them thank you so much for everything they do.
All right.
They're probably
Don't pound the table, my friend. Wah, wah, wah.
All right. We believe we're going to get to you right after Junior Goddess's reading.
Yes.
Hello there, little one down on the floor.
Hang in there, Laura. Okay, do you like this one that I found here in my 3-card spreads, Junior Goddess? It's basically, hang on a minute, I just lost it again. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, my present position, my work environment, and will I remain happy here?
Sounds
How does
good.
that sound?
That
Okay.
sounds pretty good. Let's do it. Okay, I'm
Let's do it.
cutting.
Did I did shuffle.
You did shuffle.
I'd like to get both of our energies into the cards. So the first one is basically about your position right now, your present position.
Ooh.
Wow. Hey, let me just say it, Junior Goddess. Hold that card up there. You rule. That is the queen.
You have a lot of authority in your position. You have some amount of being in charge. You also have a responsibility to make certain decisions, and you kind of try to hold yourself to a standard with that.
High standard.
A high standard. You're not necessarily interested in doing things that resolve things in a nice way. You're more interested in doing things that are the right way. So in other words, you don't necessarily play favors. You do what's really fair and right, even if others think you're a little stern or strict.
Okay. Work environment in general. Wow.
Oh,
You know what? This
my
is a
gosh.
place where you can
I
really.
want your job.
Excuse me.
Can't I be excited?
No, you cannot be. You've been excited all day. Let me be excited about this one. Just teasing. You know, we're both very excited today because things went off pretty much without a hitch. Unfortunately, our closing video is not going to work for you, everybody, today. But let me just say about this card that your work environment is going to really be a place where your talents and abilities can shine, and you will be recognized for the good things that you do. There's definitely a possibility of reaping rewards, further rewards from this present environment that you're in.
I also think too that there's aspects that show that you can receive some mentoring here if you haven't already, or
That's
that you
true,
will
too.
be able to. I think too that's really important there too, that people will look at you and have an active interest in your career because they see something there that they can work with and mentor and mold a little bit. It sounds wonderful in a way.
Oh, yeah, so far. Let's hope that trend continues with my last card. Will you remain happy here? Dun, dun.
Well, isn't that like movement though?
It
In a way?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay,
gonna
well,
let you
it's the
shoot.
Seven of Pentacles or coins reversed, and a lot of times in its upright position, it sort of is like taking time out and not really moving ahead. And when it's reversed, though, it sort of indicates like, yes, now it's time to reap that. It's really about following through with plans that were already laid. And so I'd say this does indicate that there's some staying power there, because you're going to reap benefits there. You're going to find that you are productive and that things you put into motion bear fruit.
Well, I do sense, though, with this card reversed, it's not a total, I'm not going to say it's not a win. It is a win, but that things might play out a little bit more longer term in that regard. So what that does tell me is there is definitely stability there and the ability to stay there long term to begin with. So, yes.
You're going to try and throw a Lenormand?
I sure am.
Alrighty.
So let me toss a couple of my Lenormand cards for you, Junior Goddess, and then we can move on to Laura's
Laura.
question. Okay, just give me a second.
And for those who maybe are tuned in later, we're also using, I'm using more seasonal type cards that are reflective of the Halloween season. So I've used in the previous broadcast or two the Gothic Tarot and the Vampire Tarot. And today I used the Night Sun Tarot. And most of these cards generally have more darker type imagery. The funny thing about them is that their meanings are literally exactly the same. They don't nuance them any differently because it's a vampire tarot. The magician is still the magician pretty much. Oh,
This is a very interesting combination. We got our friend the Parker Garden back. And then we also have, excuse me, the snake card. And the snake card is not always positive because let's think of some of the qualities of a snake. associated with that kind
Well,
of.
when a snake finds somebody in a garden, they tell them to go eat that apple. No?
Again, there could be deception. There could be some underhandedness. So, what it tells me is basically in any work environment, you may have some coworkers that, don't always have your best interests at heart. Maybe they take out their bad, miserable lives on you. That happens. I don't sense that this would be a boss or anybody like that, but I do sense it could be someone in your environment. It also could be, if you work with the public, just people that you have to deal with. Sometimes are not the best of people. So you have to be kind of wary of that.
Well,
But that's the only cautionary tale I have in this whole card reading.
you said that this sometimes relates to the social sphere.
Right.
And so we're talking about the employment there, and I'm thinking that so the snake is somebody that you know socially, kind of in that social sphere of your workers, your workplace. It could just be that there's a coworker who maybe is a little jealous or a little bit deceptive exactly about what they want there. But that's kind of what you said in a way.
Well, you know what? Depending on the question, because I'm not doing the Lenormand with any particular spread positions in mind. So, depending on the questions, if I read them as a pair, that's how I come up with these different ideas. So, although the park or garden means socializing in a physical sense, I can also look at this as, your work has social aspects to it where you have to communicate
Yeah,
and
I
talk
get
with
that.
people. And so I sense there that, some of the people that you deal with on a day to day basis may not be, real up and up sort of people.
Could be, yep.
And that could cloud your job experience a little bit, but it is nothing negative enough to have you leave. I think things look really positive here.
And believe it or not, we are happily going into a little bit of overtime. TFT does overtime so that we can take care of business.
And we've
and
got
we are
Laura.
taking Laura
Junior
now.
Goddess, we hope we've helped you, and we
As
look
always,
forward
stay
to
in
talking to you
touch.
again. So, alrighty.
So, Laura, did you have a specific? You're very welcome, Junior Goddess. Did you have a specific question? I don't remember. I'm going to backtrack here. Or go ahead and ask.
Good to
if
hear,
you're still
Junior
around.
Goddess.
They may have dropped out. Let's give them a moment because we've lost a few. We've lost a few folks. In
Well,
the
I think
chat room.
Laura's still here. I think she is. Let's give her a second.
Ah,
Has it popped up? Because I'm all,
Yep.
for some
Improve
reason
the
my
financial.
chat's always just a little slower there.
well, this one's the fastest.
There it
one.
is. My financial situation will improve in the near future. Hey, I'm with you on that. I need to check into that myself. So let me shuffle a little bit and then I'll look for a spread. I may have one about that issue. And if not, we'll wing it.
Well, it could be a straight
It could
yes
be.
or no with the nuance that we can give it.
Yeah, let's see what we got. Let me take a look here at my money
Whoops.
matters.
And I'm shuffling now.
Okay, let's see what I got. Okay, there's one I have that might help. Okay, current financial situation. What helps or what is blocking your money flow? And then the way out or the way forward. What's going to be ahead? So let's try that and see what we come up with for you. Since you were so patient and waiting.
We appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Alrighty, you shuffled, so I cut?
Yeah.
Or do you want to cut?
No, you cut. Because
Alrighty.
I shuffled. And our cat is barely giving us room again.
Alrighty.
Our cat is such a show stealer. Okay, so the first
Does
card.
this camera angle make his butt look big?
That's a good one. Okay, the current financial situation is the first card. Let's see what we get.
Thank you. We like hanging out with everybody.
Oh, well, you know what, Laura, I'm going to suggest here that if it hasn't happened yet, you might notice in the near future, very near, like soon, that things are starting to right themselves again. That's a 6 of Wands, am I right?
It's the 7.
Oh, it's the Seven of Wands. Yes, I'm sorry. And the Seven of Wands indicates that you seem to be able to get the higher ground or the upper hand in the situation. In other words, you're beginning to manage things better. You know, whether more is coming in or not, you're beginning to realize what you have to do to find that comfort zone.
What's the position again?
It's the current financial situation.
Yeah, right now you are absolutely holding your own. It may be that you're not exactly where you want to be, but you don't feel like there's a great deal of oppression. You feel like you're meeting some amount of the oppositions that you normally would expect to in this endeavor, certainly in terms of financial, but you're kind of holding your own at this point.
And then the next card is what helps or what is blocking your money flow. Well, you know, have we been a little
Oh dear.
have we been a little bit spendy lately?
Self-indulgence.
A little
here.
bit too much shopping or eating out or, you know, enjoying life too much, being a little bit too frivolous with the money. I sense that a little bit, or maybe your mind just hasn't been on that, which is why things have been getting a little bit out of control.
Is it possible that if this is not you, that this is a person that you're in a relationship with who maybe is kind of influencing your spending patterns, or one way or the other? I mean, maybe like, you know, you want to be nice to that person, so you're helping them out or you're buying them gifts. But it's a sense of indulgence or self-indulgence at least. And I get the feeling too, like maybe to some degree, there's just sort of a, I don't know if it's an attitude so much or as just a foible where you're not exactly focusing on intake, outtake. And so
Yes.
sometimes you're seeing something, you're like, I got to have that.
Oh,
And then you forgot, like, oh,
I resemble that statement.
yeah, I was actually thinking that, Banshee. But and I'm not saying you're a spendthrift or anything like that, but maybe sometimes you forget that you needed to save some money for a particular situation, and you went ahead and bought that new DVD or that new CD or something like that, a new dress.
And the final one is basically the way out or the way forward for you. What's going to be ahead? What lies ahead? Oh dear.
Another queen.
I'm going to have to tell you, and it is reversed. We're back to our little problem with reversals again. We get a lot of them, but they have important messages to tell you. And again, I think it's basically telling you it's up to you. You're going to have to be a better manager of your resources. And you know what happens often is that when we become more consciously aware of, you know, our limitations and where we are at financially, things start to change and shift. Don't focus on the loss and maybe the lack, let's put it that way, but focus on managing what you have and making it spread further. And you know what they say is when you do that, money tends to grow.
Right. A lot of times with the court cards, we are not necessarily drawn to see them as actual people or people necessarily external to ourselves, but sometimes they could be.
They could be.
They could be ourselves too, or they could be aspects or personality traits. You understand? Okay, so I'm not exactly sure. I mean, with the other queen, I sort of felt that could have been an external, somebody that maybe was influencing. With this one, I sort of agree with Banshee. I sort of feel that what this tells me is that normally you are pretty good in creating your prosperity, or at least the prosperity you're interested in having. And so this may just be a momentary kind of variation in your normal pattern. You know, and that happens to me too around the holidays time too. You start thinking of like other money you want to spend either on yourself or other people.
So
I don't
think
know.
of ways that, you know, you want to take care of people, of course, if you're into the gift giving season. Think of ways that you can do things for people that, you know, are within reason. And be aware that, you know, you can only spend and do so much. And sometimes people appreciate other things, you know, you just being with them, going out to dinner or inviting them over. And you don't need to go all out. So there could be...
I was waiting for him to
Sonny
do a
is
meow.
hugging our microphone, and he wants to say something probably, but we're not going to let him. Not today.
Lenormands?
Oh, yes, I have to pull a couple of Lenormands.
We have a couple
for you.
Lenormands for you too, Laura, so hang on there.
hang tight a second, and
Don't
we'll
sit on
see
the
if we can
cards.
wrap this
Don't
one
sit on
up.
the cards.
Yeah, I see that he is on my cards.
I think I pulled him out.
So basically, let's see what's up here.
He's our adorable little tarot kitty mascot.
Oh dear. He
You know,
says
he's
stop
flopping
shuffling.
over the cards.
Stop shuffling and pay attention to me. Oh, well, this is kind of interesting too. I'm not exactly completely sure what to tell you about this one, Laura.
Well, we didn't get a repeat.
We have the rope or the whip, and we have the house. And basically, this could indicate to me that something could be happening really soon in relation to where property matters are concerned. I'm wondering, I hate to say this, but maybe you have to be aware and maybe put some money aside because there could be some property issues coming up. You may have a repair, something unexpected come your way that could drain your resources further. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news on that, but that's really what I'm seeing here.
I get a sense that with the whip there, that's a whip, right?
Yes.
That
That usually means something fast or aggressively occurring.
Yeah, well, to me, the word that came into my head was discipline. And I don't know if that meant that somebody wanted to discipline you or if it's about disciplining yourself. And then with the house, I sort of feel like it's better than not, but I guess there's the combination aspect. So I don't know if you own a home at this point, but I get the feeling like if you do or if you want to maintain that, and I realize there's, all kinds of, things going on, discipline is going to be key here.
On the other hand, now that he mentioned that, this could be that, yes, maybe it's time to crack the whip on yourself because also the house has to do with your security. Maybe it's time for you to realize, in the end, you have to look out for your own stability and security and, really put your mind to it.
So you may have to go medieval on yourself a little bit, but it may be worth it in the long run because
like
to
that.
me, all these other cards, the Queen of Coins especially, seem to show you have the basic framework and ability skill sets. You have skill sets. I think you do. And you just need to more or less discipline
Nose
yourself.
to the grindstone.
Yep.
So I hope that's helped, and I hope everybody's had great, there was a lot of good reading today, I think, and we really appreciate it. You guys kept us on our toes, and that's what we like. And by all means, check out, I don't know if everybody's familiar with what's been going on in Britain with Brexit, but we posted a video Friday night, it's maybe about 20 minutes or just less long, about the Brexit vote that took place on Saturday. And I really do think we kind of hit the money on that one.
Yeah.
And so you might be interested in seeing what we had to say about that. And stay tuned. There might be more in that regard.
So our new slogan is, if we can predict the fate of millions, what can we do for you?
I wasn't going to use that slogan, but hey.
So once again, thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you to our wonderful producer son who was monitoring for that.
Oh, hi, Yasika. We're sorry, we're about to sign off. We're running a little late today.
Please consider coming back at our next one.
Please consider coming back.
You're welcome, Laura.
We will be same time, same place, I believe, next
You're welcome,
Sunday.
Junior Goddess.
And we're also here Thursday nights, Eastern Standard Time from 7 to 9 p.m. And we'll be happy to read for you, Yasika. We're glad you found us.
Yasika.
And take care, everybody, and we will see you soon.